You hear the terms all the time: stocks, shares, the market. But what are you actually buying when you click invest? Is it just a tiny piece of paper or something more powerful? If you don't know the answer, you're investing blind. And today, the Index Compass will give you the answer in the clearest, simplest way possible. In the simplest terms, a stock is a single share of ownership in a public company. To make this easy, let's use the most famous analogy in finance: the piece of the pie. Imagine this pie is the entire company. Now, let's say the company decides to go public. This means they want to raise money to grow, to build new stores, or invent new products. To do this, they cut their entire ownership pie into millions or even billions of identical tiny slices. Each one of these slices is a stock, also called a share. When you buy a stock, you are buying one of those tiny slices. You are now officially a part owner or a shareholder. You own a piece of the pie. Okay, so you're a part owner, so what? Why would you want to own a tiny slice of someone else's pie? You want to own it because, as an owner, you are entitled to two potential rewards. The first one is what most people think of: capital appreciation. This is just a fancy term for the price of your slice going up. Let's say you buy one share of Coffee Corp for $100. Over the next 5 years, Coffee Corp does great. The company is now much bigger and more valuable. Because the whole pie is worth more, your single slice is also worth more. Other investors are now willing to pay $150 for it. You bought at $100, it's now worth $150. That $50 increase is your profit. That is capital appreciation, but that's not the only way you get paid. The second reward is the focus of this channel: dividends. Remember, you're an owner. When the company makes a profit, it can share that profit with its owners. That thank you payment is a dividend. For example, Coffee Corp might decide to pay $2 per share in dividends. Since you own one share, you get a $2 cash payment. So how do you find these stocks? You find them by their ticker symbol. A ticker is just a short, unique ID code for a company on the stock market. It's like a license plate. Apple's ticker is AAPL. Microsoft is MSFT. When you want to buy or check the price of a stock, you use its ticker. Now, this all sounds great, but it's critical to remember, as an owner, you share in the rewards, but you also share in the risk. What if the company makes a bad decision? If the company becomes less valuable, the price of your pie slice, your stock, will go down. Your $100 investment could fall to $70 or even zero if the company goes bankrupt. This is the fundamental risk of owning stocks. Your investment is not guaranteed. Finally, you might hear about common versus preferred stock. The difference is simple. Common stock is what 99% of people buy. It gives you voting rights. Preferred stock usually has no voting rights, but it's preferred because it often pays a fixed dividend and gets paid back first if the company fails. It's generally considered safer, but with less growth. So, a stock isn't a lottery ticket, it is a slice of ownership in a real business. But picking the right pie, the right single company, is incredibly difficult. What if, instead of trying to pick the one perfect slice, you could buy a pre-made basket that holds all 500 of the top pies, all with a single click? That is called an ETF, or an exchange-traded fund. And it's the subject of our next video. To learn how you can instantly own hundreds of companies and manage your risk, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. This is Index Compass, your guide to smart investing.